From Nice, we take another day trip. We're spending the full day visiting Grasse, Vence, and St-Paul. You can do it all by public bus. It's very convenient. It takes about 1 hour to travel from Nice to Grasse, where we're starting our journey. Famous as the home of the perfume industry. The old town of Grasse is similar to the old towns that we've seen already in our journey. Quite a few of these little squares where you can sit down for a coffee. The narrow pedestrian lanes lead throughout this little village. And of course there's some very interesting shops here. More of the Provençal ceramics. And just a nice place to take a walk, and it too is quite small. The old town is just about a half a mile wide, and it is on a hill, so there's quite a few of these staircase streets which are very interesting to walk on. It's not that steep. And there's an old church. Look how ancient the interior is. It looks like it was carved out of a rock cave, but constructed in the Byzantine style. This whole village looks like a Romanesque kind of a stone structure. Amazing maze and alleyway intersections here going left and right. You don't have to worry about getting lost. It's so small. You just walk around. You could follow a map if you wish. Statue of Froggen, the great French painter who was from the town of Grasse. And his name has been adopted by the major perfume company, Froggen Perfumes. And they have a whole variety of soaps and lotions and fragrances. The main industry of the city, supported by the flower fields that grow for miles around the town of Grasse. The main square is a great spot. It's got this arcaded loggia along the side of it, and some lovely trees growing, and shops and cafes, and a fountain in the midst of it all. And that's about all there is to see in Grasse. Well, it's worth a trip if you'd like to especially look at the perfume shops. The perfume factories put on a free show, and just take a stroll in this pleasant little village. Nice pedestrian zone, something to see. About a half an hour further down the road, we're going to the little medieval village of Vence, and then on to St-Paul, perhaps the gem of this day's touring. And you go by public bus. It's quite inexpensive. It just costs about $4 to get from one town to the next. It takes a half an hour. And we arrive in Vence. This too is a typical Provençal village. It used to have a wall around it. You see this gateway. That was part of the original fortified wall around the village. And anytime you have a wall and a medieval village, you're likely to find a well-preserved old town, as we have done once again here in Vence. It's the smallest cathedral in Provence. And we've got a couple of little town squares, more of these arches across the street forming a tunnel-like atmosphere as you wander these narrow lanes. You notice it's strictly for pedestrians. These roads are much too narrow for cars to get through. Of course, the odd delivery car might come through, but during the day, it's a very peaceful spot, particularly in the off-season. And this fellow was keeping his eyes out on the goings-on down below. Town watchdog. Vence, too, is a little place, certainly less than a half a mile wide. It just takes a few hours to have a peek. And then we continue on the bus to St-Paul. Now this is really a very special town. St-Paul is a medieval village, stone structures that date back to the 15th and 16th centuries. And it had fallen apart in recent times, early 20th century. It was quite dilapidated, but it has been fixed up like new. It's amazing because the art industry has moved in. There are 50 art galleries here of the highest quality.
So my name is Elodie. I work in the tourist office in St-Paul. St-Paul is very famous because before it was a very little village with a lot of artists like Picasso, Chagall. There were French actors, Yves Montand, Simone Signoret. That's why now the village is very famous. In the village you can find around 50 galleries, workshop and artists also, a lot of shops of decoration of the house. And the village was built in 11th, 12th century for the first fortification, and after by François Ier in the 16th century. It's a medieval village. If you want to do the tour of the village, you can find the main street, where you can find the shops, the galleries, everything. You have the place where there is the big fountain, and also the heart of the village with the church. And also a lot of shops, a pleasant, charming streets. Yeah. About the history of the village, you can find several houses was from the 12th century. Also for the fortifications, there was built on the 16th century by François Ier, and St-Paul was a royal city, town. In the village you can find around 3 hotels, so one with 2 stars. It's a very charming hotel, and you can live on the heart of the village. So you have different view on the west side, on the east side. So this is a map of the village in French and English, and inside you have the map. And this is the list of the main touristic sites to see in St-Paul. Okay? I give you this one. You can find the list of the accommodation and the restaurants, also the shopping, and the artists and the workshops in the village, the galleries.
Okay, great.
And after you have this one also in French and English, and you can find inside the path in St-Paul and also around the village, like this.
Okay. The surrounding countryside has some lovely nature hikes that you might enjoy. You could spend a few days here in St. Paul and never get tired of walking through these little lanes. It's quite small. It's only about a half a mile long and a quarter mile wide, but each little lane is worth a close look. You might even see it in the morning, come back in the evening, enjoy the different qualities of light and atmosphere. This is a living and breathing work of art. It started life as a fortified village back in the Middle Ages. It's up on a hill, and they built a stone wall around it and filled the little village with these stone structures and a stone church and different little town squares. And it has evolved over time into this classic Provençal artist's village. Now, of all the places that we visited, this is the one place that I would not want to miss. It really is special. And we are giving you the walking tour as we stroll through the lanes. It's almost like you're burning some calories just watching these buildings glide by. Even the paving on the lanes is precise and beautiful. There's obviously a lot of money that's flowing through this little town of St-Paul with these high-end art galleries everywhere. And these monies have been put to good use in fixing up this little village. There's no graffiti, there's no trash, nothing's broken here. Everything is sparkling. Even the dogs have to be careful where they go. They keep the place spick and span. So if you want to see an old medieval village, go visit St-Paul in Provence. And at the end of the day, you go out to the bus stop with everybody else and hop on your bus back to Nice, which is less than an hour away.